Hello, guys. How's everybody doing at the artist market today? Yeah. Welcome to the artist market. So, great Grandpa Beebe, or should I say my great Grandpa Beebe, but he can be yours too. He's here to help us with the entertainment for this evening. First up, he's going to do a few interviews so you can get to know some of the local artists in our area. Then also we're going to do some storytelling later on today. And then we'll have a live performance also by great Grandpa Beebe. Or maybe you want to sit down? Okay, we'll just start right now. So this is great Grandpa. I'm going to interview you.
Okay, yeah.
For the artist market.
I'm at the artist market right now.
So Beebe, how'd you get hooked up with this gig?
I knew a guy who knows the people in charge, the higher ups.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. So you've been doing this type of stuff for a while?
A little bit, yeah, about 6 months or so. So people pretty much know about it. They know the deal by now.
Son, why are you so nervous? No, I'm just
been drinking a lot of coffee,
Yeah, yeah. So anyways, me and great Grandpa Beebe, we go back quite a ways.
Yeah.
The heroin awareness sculpture, some of you guys may have seen it. That has a lot of the pictures of where me and Beebe took it over maybe a week, 8 days or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
What's one of the memories that you can remember from those 8 days?
Oh, geez. Man, I don't know. Just driving forever down to DC and then we're just set up in the middle of the mall, like in the Smithsonian or whatever it is, And there's people like, hey, are you guys going to the march later? Like for the heroin awareness thing? And we're like, yeah, we're that's why we came, like where's it gonna be at?
And we ended up going to the White House green or the lawn.
Yeah.
Protesting the whole thing and then walking in front of the White House with quite a few, probably a few thousand people, I would assume.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
sure.
From all over the country.
Lots of speeches were given, lots of overdose awareness kind of ideas happening.
And I didn't realize, really such the problem and the heartache that it brings.
Yeah.
When you start dealing with, substances like that. And
lots of stigma, lots of cultural things.
Yeah. I learned more in that 8 days than I did. It was probably 6 months previous to that when I first put up the sculpture.
Yeah.
And really those 8 days, I learned more than I did in the past 8 months, dealing with just having the sculpture out and expressing my opinion and
just being on the road, and seeing real people and
definitely.
I mean, you're bringing art into people's lives and it's going to affect them and they're going to have a response too.
Yeah. And that's something that art does when you look at art, especially something like that. It was right up in your face. We even had it on a cart.
Yeah. And it's not subtle.
No, you definitely will notice it when you're walking past it.
Yeah.
And that was pretty awesome.
Like some green mannequins and some
Independence Hall. I think I have a picture of you standing there, and there's hundreds of people around the cart. Remember we had stickers and wristbands?
Yeah.
And even the homeless people were taking the stickers and the wristbands and then selling them to hopefully make money to get food or hopefully we didn't start a circle, I don't know. That's why I'm not going to get too in depth about it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places was Pittsburgh. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, getting all the shit from carrying it downtown or on that strip, nobody wanted us there. And then we met Randy at Randyland, and he was open arms.
Completely opposite.
Yeah, and he's give me that guy's phone number. I'm going to go, hunt him down or something. That's not how we roll. And, so it's cool to find support when you don't even know anybody around you.
Yeah. Yeah, people are everywhere. People are people everywhere too.
Yeah.
And so it's not as difficult as you think it is to just go out and travel on the road and just to do art on the road.
Yeah,
There's already people there that are just ready to like bring you into the fold.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I feel like, especially when you travel, art connects people because
Yeah.
I'm attracted to art. So if I see an artist set up,
Yeah.
I'm already in the mindset like I need to know this guy. I need to what do you do like in your off time? It's always random questions. That's why I always like the way you talk about like interviewing people in your podcast and stuff because it's just a cool thing, and we need to know more about the people that don't have a voice or an outlet, at least say what they want to say.
And just having an open mind to learn,
Yeah.
Just everything that you can. And you're just like, wow, you're from a whole different place. What's it like over there,
I feel like we're doing another podcast.
Yeah.
Again. So anyways, guys, this is Great Grandpa Beebe. Me and him go way back. He was in my book, Don't Feed the Wildlife, as Detective Frank Delphonic.
Just a slight cameo.
Yep. Also, we went on the Heroin Awareness Sculpture Tour, which is like a tongue twister, and every time you say it to somebody.
7 cities or something.
Yeah. Almost got fined at the Statue of Liberty. You're not allowed to take your artwork to the Statue of Liberty and take a picture of it. We weren't even on the island. We were in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But they own the rights to that in the background of your picture. So even if you were to sell a picture that you took of the Statue of Liberty, it's technically against the law. And they tried to fine us $100,000 if we took the statue out on their property.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's a little convoluted,
And then the same thing with trying to get it into New York City. There's so many laws and permits that you need that we were totally not ready for that. So
now we know.
We ran from Wall Street all the way up to Times Square.
Bottom of Manhattan all the way up. Yeah.
It was a wild run, and I feel like we did it within a few hours, too.
Yeah, we saw all of New York City.
And it's funny,
in like
I went back a few years later and took my mom and my wife, and it took us all day to do that walk. And I was wondering, like, how did we do that in like a 6-hour? We seen all of New York City in 6 hours.
Yeah, we were just we were on a mission, and I was pushing a little hard maybe.
Yeah, no.
I was just like, I want to see this. I want to go over here, like.
I can't even remember where like we slept that night. Like I was so tired.
Yeah,
afterwards.
right.
Like I cannot think of where we were at.
I just remember kind of random things that happened pop up here and there, Greenwich Village and Chinatown and.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're getting back into it.
Yeah.
So Chelsea Mullins is your next guest.
Yeah.
I'm not even a guest.
We're gonna.
You're
just a host.
I am a hostess.
Yeah, you organize this whole thing. That's why I'm here right now.
And no, I appreciate all the artists coming, and especially like when the artist market just opens up, there's not a bunch of people that come running in, so it's like a whole day-long event. But I find it's perfect for the vendors to kind of meet each other.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome. Like when two painters can talk there and talk about styles and learn off of each other.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about right there.
And it's super, inviting, I guess, as a environment to have like people talking on stage. It makes it feel like it's an event. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. You invited me out to play some music.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what we should do? Just have interviews and storytelling and like.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about putting podcasts in the middle of my set just to like have a chair. I'm playing music and just bringing people up, from the crowd sometimes, Like,
I like that. Maybe if we get bored, we'll do a bingo set. Usually Alistair Lucas, me and him do like a bingo thing together.
Interesting.
And he sets the mood of how I call bingo. And I just do some free bingo giveaways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can shoot a few games later on.
Hey, Chelsea, you ready? Hey.
Okay, guys. So next up, you got Chelsea Mullins. She's a local artist. She loves painting. She likes craft beer. And I'll let Beebe do the rest of it.
We got an interrogation going on here. What's happening?
Thank you, Brian.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh,
Drinking beer,
Yeah.
trying to have a good time,
Yeah, right?
talking to lots of people.
Nice. Yeah, you're a local artist here at the artist market here at the Tiffin Brewery
I think
today.
this is my 4th art show that I've done at the brewery.
Dang.
I've been teaching Amanda Stallsworth paint lessons for like 3 years now. She's right over there.
Nice.
Everyone look at Amanda. So we started off from very small canvas paintings,
Oh, cool.
and now we've transitioned into murals.
Yeah.
So now she's a muralist, and that's what you see off
What?
to
Yeah, I'll get a picture
Stage
of
left.
it and I'll put it on the...
stage right. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Yep.
That's pretty fantastic. I saw one of your murals over here. It's like about this by this, like piece of pizza kind of thing going
Yep.
on.
So I collect fortunes, and I decided
Nice.
to incorporate the fortunes into my paintings.
So is it like in a fortune-telling machine, like a Zordo's?
Almost. It's not quite like Ryan Punyon's fortune-telling machine
Okay.
with the golden eggs.
Zolden. Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
But I have a giant scientific beaker at home filled with fortunes.
Nice.
And I also like to collect bottle caps and bones and seashells, gemstones and rocks.
All of the raw materials of the
All of
artist.
them.
Yeah.
And I also work at Reclaim It, which is a nonprofit here in Tiffin. And we work with the youth in Seneca County. So I'm used to reclaiming stuff all the time anyway.
Fantastic.
I have experience with working with nonprofits,
Wow.
being in the Tiffin Music and Art Festival for 6
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So now it's awesome. I get to contribute back to the community still
Yeah.
with Reclaim It. So
Reclaim it. Sweet. Yeah. Is that the name of the nonprofit then?
that is the name of the nonprofit. It's Reclaim It 127.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
it's in downtown Tiffin, right next to the Bourbon Bar.
Nice. Yeah. I've worked with a couple nonprofits over the years doing the Jubilee Go Festival over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing the Jubilee Go Festival this year?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
September 25th. Anybody wants to come out to a good music festival, you know?
Are you accepting vendors?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll have to be in touch then.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that on a later date here.
So I actually did a live painting. That's also something else I like to enjoy is live artwork.
Okay.
So I have a
Yeah.
canvas set up behind my art booth.
I seen that. I like that one.
But one of the first times I saw you perform live was at Coyote Grove.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was for Food for Folks.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
2016.
Could
it was
be.
a long time ago.
Right.
Before I started working with Poignon, but
Yeah.
yep, I did a portrait of you.
I know,
Nobody
right?
even knew who it was. I had to explain to everybody, but it was great.
That's the day I became famous.
Yep. Well,
I,
that's how I first met you. So.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, man, that looks a lot like me. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes, you'll have an idea for a painting or a piece of artwork, and then it kind of develops into something else as you go along.
After that point, I just wanted to live up to the energy that I had in the painting. Because it felt like I was just like a cartoon character in a video game or something. Like,
Stinking it up. Dancing.
I'm
Yep.
on the move. Here we go. Like,
Yeah, I forgot your glasses, though. That's the one
yeah.
thing. The
Well, I
signature
don't
glasses.
know if I was wearing these glasses at that point yet either.
You had glasses, but not
That's
those
true.
ones.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
got the David Bowie look going on.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's a
Instead of the
compliment.
brown
Yeah.
and the blue, you got
I'll
the
take it.
square and the circle.
Right, right.
Yeah. Anybody take a look at his glasses? They're awesome.
Yeah, symmetry's overrated. It's way out of vogue. I don't know.
I know, and I teach symmetry and like anatomical, proportions all the time.
Yeah,
and so
yeah. I mean,
it's
that's a
pretty
big
cool.
part of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know I've dabbled with some sketches and some self-portraits in my day, and like it's interesting to try to like square it up and like you to really draw like a realistic thing. You are drawing asymmetrically in a sense,
Right.
because there's a lot of nuance, just like especially with the face or any kind of like realistic like in the real world, like there is a certain type of symmetry happening, but it's also like a perspective,
Yeah. Well, and I see a lot of abstract qualities in realism all the time, and I think that's why I like to merge like the realism with the surrealism, because when I first started painting, it was all really natural,
Yeah.
like Bob Ross style kind of stuff.
Cool.
And then I was just really, I don't know, bored, I guess, with that style. And
Yeah.
I started experimenting more with colors and the blacklight reactive paint.
Nice.
And so that's kind of my my signature is the galaxies,
Okay.
because essentially, you know, we all started from stardust.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. Like,
I mean,
people don't think about it a lot, but we're on a planet in outer space right now.
Right.
It's like, it's
exactly.
It's a real thing that's happening.
So just trying to draw that connection between not just the universe and our Earth, but you know, like our consciousness into reality too. So I think that's what I like to draw upon. And you know, Salvador Dali was a huge, you know,
Yeah.
inspiration growing up. So
That's cool. Surrealistic,
Yeah.
like melting things.
But
and,
at the
like,
same time, he was
very
a
tall
classical
drafts.
master.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he was great at painting the realistic, you know,
And that,
realism.
I mean,
but
yeah,
then,
I mean that was the other half of his style, you know.
and once you identify and you know, you go so far in your learning, you know, you want to break all the boundaries and like break all the rules of conventional art, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I really like things like this, because people can draw inspiration from each other, break the rules of what they previously know, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And about
make
making
new things.
making up, and then you get to a point where you stop like knowing what the rules are. You stop breaking rules, and then you just start being like, okay, well, there's a certain amount of rules that I want to adhere to right now.
Yeah.
And so this is the world that I'm going to work in, and I'm going to define those terms, and that's what it is.
And then
know?
you make your own rules.
Exactly.
Or new ones.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep. But I
Um,
love to do painting and not so much drawing, but I do sculpture, and I like to do a lot of costume things too.
Yeah.
So I make magic wands.
Sweet.
And crowns and things like that. But I also like to do the Levy wand,
Okay.
which is a performance art, like a flow art. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. It's almost like a hula hoop or a baton,
Yeah.
but it's magic. So I'll
But
do
it
that
is-
later.
It is magic.
Yeah, it is truly magic.
Yeah, I mean, you know magic when you see it, you know, like it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's sometimes other people don't see it, but like you know that it's magic, and that's I think really what matters.
Well,
you know?
magic doesn't always have to be the supernatural.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It can just be a feeling that you get, like a really good feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
That can be magical.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Experiences are magical too.
Yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't have to be real magic,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah.
the emotion associated with the moment can be magical.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense,
I
but
like it,
makes
yeah.
sense to me.
It reminds me of a thing I've been kind of like thinking about lately, as far as I got a hold of a friend randomly the other day, and I was like, hey, like I remember like this day, like that we like were racing down these slides in the middle of the town. You know, like these, like we had these. There was these big slides. There was like a fair earlier in the daytime, and it's nighttime, and we maybe had a couple beers at that point, and we're just like no one's gonna care if we slide down these slides, you know. And it was just such a great night, and like I was like, you know, accomplishments, perfect nights are great, are accomplishments in life
Yeah.
too, you know.
Well, and that memory in itself is a magical moment, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
reminiscing on the good old times. Yeah,
Yeah, like something you can hang your hat on, you know, like.
for sure.
Because like so many people are just like, well, I got to do this. There's like benchmark life events that happen, that like if they don't happen to you, then you feel sad.
Well, yeah,
So-
you got to take advantage of every moment that you can.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you got to be a yes man, but at the same time, you can't take away from your own energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we don't really know what a good event is and a bad event is in the
Yep.
long run, whatever ends up happening. You
But
know?
it's better to, like, do something and, like, I don't know, have some sort of feeling from it than not doing it at all. And then
Yeah.
having the remorse.
Showing up,
or
just
the
show
regrets.
up, you
Yep.
know, and see what happens, kind of thing.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Cool.
Well, so you mentioned earlier that my painting had reminded you of something. So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
live painting, which is not done at all, it's only 4 colors.
Well, yeah, it
So-
reminds me of a couple things. Like the most popular comic book in the world, Watchmen. Do you know about?
Oh, no, I'm not much of a comic book reader. I
Okay,
know a lot
yeah.
about the artistic aspect. I almost started working for Alex Ross
Whoa.
But then I never,
Dang.
that never
Yeah.
developed into anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's
I
cool.
really enjoy comic books and I mean all different
Yeah.
kinds of forms of art. But
Yeah.
I'm just not very well versed in all the stories.
Yeah,
There's so many
yeah.
different kinds.
There's a lot. It's a big world. I don't generally get involved in any of the like kind of superhero worlds so much, you know, almost because it is so big, you know.
Yeah.
There's been artists that have been doing Spider-Man since the 60s, you know, like, and it's just continued and it's going to continue for years.
So explain that story that you were talking to me. What was it called again?
So Watchmen is kind
Watchmen.
of the antithesis of a superhero comic book, okay? Because it is based around the idea of superheroes, but it's like they had all kind of retired, and they all had this like kind of community of them, you know? And they were all like, I don't. It's kind of a complicated and huge story, okay? Alan Moore wrote it. He's like one of the geniuses of like 80s like. The revival of like actually putting substance in comic books so much, right?
Right.
Him and Neil Gaiman, like those guys, right? And so, but that particular painting reminds me of one of the characters. Man, I can't even remember what his name is right now. But he was like a big blue guy, you know, and he had like the power of like the atomic universe kind of thing.
Whoa.
So he would.
I was not expecting that to be that loud.
Yeah. Completely justified, yeah. But you would just go up to the moon and just like meditate for hundreds of years and things, and then
That's
come back to
crazy.
Earth, you know. And,
How
like,
cool.
But he had like the third eye thing going on, and it was like this like very like atomic structured type of like, you know, being like every like. It was written in the middle 80s and kind of just dealing a lot with Cold War feelings, I think, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
Yeah.
So a lot of my portraits start off as like the really cold tone, so it's usually like greens or blues first, and
Okay.
then I'll layer all the skin tones on top of it.
Gotcha.
Because
Cool.
the blues and the greens kind of incorporate all the shadows in the face, and then everything else is
Interesting.
added to it, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of creates that depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I never really thought about it in those terms before.
So
Like,
it might stay blue or turquoise, but it might eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be pink. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel it out. I don't have a plan for anything.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned before, you just kind of let it develop as it, whatever it feels like, and
Yeah, for sure.
let the magic happen.
Yeah, whenever I did paintings, I did like 4 or 5 paintings in my life, and like it was always like a thing where like I thought I was gonna mess it up anything that I did, you know. And
Yep.
so I would just have to take a picture of each step just to move forward with it.
For real, yeah, that's what you have to do. Progress pictures like really help out a lot, especially there's always awkward stages in between artwork too, and that's what I tell Amanda all the time.
Yeah.
Awkward stages. Such is life. Well, that's okay. You're my best friend. So, besides Lisa. Hi, Lisa and Nate. So yeah.
We're at an interesting venue right now, the artist market. Tons of artists everywhere.
There's so many people here. But you know what matters the most is all the artists supporting each other.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I love all you guys. And I feel like even though there's not a whole lot of people here, we all support each other, and we'll all buy art from each other.
Yep.
The barter
right.
system.
Yep. It's a feedback loop. It's a Mobius strip.
Yep.
So,
Dang.
bringing it back, so as an artist or as a human, right? Like, what was your first memory of art that kind of struck you, maybe?
Oh man. So I grew up in a flower shop.
Okay.
My pretty much my whole family has been florists.
Yeah.
So that was like my first instance of like art. So
Not from Florida,
I was
just,
pretty
like,
much
doing flowers.
from Florida. I
Okay.
mean, I lived in Florida
Oh.
for a long time when I was a
Florist in
kid.
Florida?
I was a florist in Florida, a Florida florist.
Perfect. Yep.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I
I mean, I've lived all over. So I was born in Tiffin. I grew up in
Okay.
Seattle, Washington.
Oh, wow.
And then I moved to Florida.
Gotcha.
And then I ended up here.
Nice.
So, long story short, florists, mosaic artists, stained glass artists, painters, sculptors. So like
Wow.
that's essentially what all my family does.
Oh,
I kind of
wow.
drew inspiration from each one of them, just depending on whatever skills they honed into.
Yeah.
And my grandma like does sewing, which is something I never picked up on. But yeah, sculpture and painting mostly. I think the most impactful painting or paintings that made me want to start doing it, my mom always painted big naked ladies. So big booties.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yep. And flowers all around them. So it was kind of showing the beauty of womanhood and motherhood.
Finding the transcendental objects. And
lots of shocking things.
Okay.
My friends would come over, they see all the stuff on the walls, and they'd be like, whoa.
What?
But it was natural for me, you know?
Yeah.
But eventually, I kind of upset a lot of art teachers painting lots of nudity. But you know, I really enjoy anatomy and proportions. So like Vitruvian Man, and I don't know, the skeletal structure is really fascinating to me. So
it's weird how we're all walking upright and doing this thing right now.
I feel like the only thing I haven't really delved into is like taxidermy.
Okay.
I'm really interested in taxidermy, but I don't have the resources or the room to do it. I think my husband would be mad at me if I brought home a bunch of dead animals.
Yeah, I was staying in North Carolina a couple weeks ago, and the lady I was staying with was like, check out my freezer full of dead animals. I don't know what to do with them yet, but here's an otter, and here's some birds.
Oh no.
I was like, oh my God.
That's
cool.
Great.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of snakes everywhere in the basement and the aquariums and things. You know? Yeah, and this snake bottle over here is pretty epic.
Everyone has to check out that that bottle of alcohol with the snakes and stuff in it. It's pretty sweet.
The liquid is the antidote to the poison of the snakes, so it balances itself out nice. Indeed. Like that. Yeah.
You probably can drink it. It's probably very hard alcohol.
Probably formaldehyde.
It might be formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Don't drink it.
It's the nastiest stuff
That's what
in the
they
world.
pump through the dead bodies, Amanda. No, that's something else, isn't it?
So yeah. So
here's the bottle, the infamous bottle.
Right, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's frightening and amazing.
I wonder if it glows in the black light.
Yeah, get a close up there.
Yeah. Very cool. Whoa. So there's a bunch of raffle items over there before Ryan Punyon's booth. So if you haven't checked those stuff out, you should. This bottle is one of the raffle items. Don't slip
it can be yours if the price is right.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's super interesting. You were raised by artists and all of that, and none of my family were artists at all, you know. Like, so that's super weird to me, I guess, you know. Like, but I could see how it would rub off. I don't know.
So you were the black sheep in your family then?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're like, I'm done with all this conformity.
Yeah.
I'm a grandpa now.
My brother does radiology at a hospital, and my dad's an engineer. Okay.
So I gotta ask you.
Okay.
The grandpa.
Oh yeah, where does it come from?
Please, I would love to know. Now I'm interviewing you.
Yeah, right. It happens. Well, so I've played music for quite a long time. And when I went to Kent, I had a punk rock band and all that, and then that kind of broke up, and then I was in drum circles with a lot of people, and then that led to being in a bunch of old-timey bands, okay? And I was playing washboard and banjo and whatever.
Cool.
And I was in the Johnny and the Apple Stompers, and then we started our own thing called... Rambunctious Bunch.
Oh, cool.
And then the Rambunctious
I've heard about
Bunch.
That.
Okay. Yeah. Amy. She goes by Kevin now. Kevin Breeden. He is an amazing artist, visually, and also played ukulele.
So he was in the band with you in the.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was four of us. We had a gut bucket player. I played washboard and sang backup vocals and all that. And but I was playing a lot with a guy named Johnny Miller, who we played around town a lot together. And I just started calling him a jukebox of bluegrass music and old timey, because every time I'd see him, he'd play a different song I never heard before. And so we were drinking a lot, and then like I ran out. I had my guitar in my hand, didn't have any case for the guitar, you know. Lots of superfluous details here, but
I do that
I was
too.
like,
It's fine.
Grandpa Johnny, like
Ah.
hell yeah, you know, like, and we just had this moment real quick. He was on the street playing, and I was like, cool. Well, I'm gonna go play this other show real quick. You know, stay cool. And like, and obviously we played together for years after that too. And he just started calling me Great Grandpa Beebe because I would call him Grandpa Johnny, and he was younger than me. And everyone called me Beebe because that's like my name, like that's my last name.
Yeah.
And so, so that happened, you know. And then the Rambunctious Bunch, we all moved into a house together on in Kent on a
wow.
cobblestone street called Earl Avenue. Okay. And Earl was my Great Grandpa Beebe's real name.
Wow.
Yeah, and so Johnny would come over every time, just be calling me Great Grandpa Beebe, and like we were on Earl Cobblestone Street, and then I was playing in all those bands, and I was just getting complacent, and I was like, I need to do my own thing, and then I just started like in the middle of that time, I wrote a whole album and had all those people collaborate on it, and then I didn't know what to call it, and I was like, obviously you got to call it Great Grandpa Beebe because
That's cool.
It was just kind of marking time. Almost.
You know, long story, but it's worth it.
Thanks,
Like
yeah.
sometimes certain details, I know you said like all these details don't matter. They do. You know, they
Yeah.
all kind of build up and like
Yeah.
contribute to the final. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. To
the final message or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Right. Like there's a lot of different reasons why that happened. You know, but
Cool.
yeah. And so I just ran with it, and then I did through that festival that same year that I came out with that first album. The Jubilee Go Festival, because we were gonna call it Great Grandpa Beebe's 100th birthday, because I didn't want to turn 30. And
But then you
like,
would have had to do 101, 102, 103.
That's what we've been doing. Yeah.
Oh.
That's like kind of the subtext of the festival too.
Sure.
Is that like when I'm up there playing my set, I'm like, hey, I'm 105 years old this year. You know.
How
or
old are you
whatever.
now?
I think 108.
Wow.
107.
107 years old,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Yeah, right. You don't know what it's like to age in Norwalk.
Yeah. I know I have a skincare routine I do every day, and that's how I keep my youth.
There you go.
So I'm aging backwards.
Right.
Benjamin Button. Cheers.
Tomb the womb, man.
Indeed. Oh man. Well,
Cool.
I'm happy we had this talk.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
really
for sure.
enlightening. I
Cool.
can talk a lot about art,
Yeah.
but you know,
Have you ever done a podcast before?
no.
Okay, yeah.
Well, Russell Snyder. I did a bunch of interviews with him at the
Okay.
Tiffin Music and Art Festival,
Okay.
but never a podcast before. That's what my
Nice.
husband does.
Oh,
so.
yeah?
Yep, Nate Mullins, everybody. Woo!
Cheers.
Mulling it over. Yeah.
Where's Tom at?
Who's that? Oh, I don't know. I
we
haven't
have
seen him yet.
I have another guest here.
Oh, wait. No, he's inside. I can go grab him for you.
If you want to, maybe.
Hey.
I was hoping I didn't have to like fill dead air by myself.
Right. You should be able to see his booth right from here, though.
Hey Tom,
Hello,
you ready to jump on the
Tom.
podcast?
Can you see him? I think he's getting a beverage.
That's where he usually is. Okay, yeah. So I'm sure he'll be here momentarily. I usually do this podcast for like 2 hours, so I'm pretty good at just kind of like falling down
Rambling.
down the
Rabbit
hole with it.
holes.
Yeah. I've been. In
I
front of
actually have a rabbit mask over there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I found a bunch of artwork hidden in Ryan Punyon's attic. Like 20 paintings, a couple sculptures.
I've been up there. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Lots of mannequins.
I was
up
pretty
there.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want some mannequins. I got some foam heads, but that's about it.
Yeah, I got some of those too.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I was gonna bring I had a top hat that I was gonna put a fog machine and like fog hat.
Ooh.
You know.
I have a bubble machine. I forgot to whip it
Ah,
out.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bubble gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, we're prepared to do art. You
Yep,
know, just
we are all the time.
in a general
you know,
basis.
More
Yeah.
more is good. I always try to bring less every time. I always end up bringing more.
Yeah, I have a whole car full of stuff everywhere I go most of the time too.
Because I always talk about, hey, I have this cool thing. I want to show it to you. And I would hate to leave it at home. I want to
Yeah.
show everybody all the cool stuff.
I used to bring a lamp everywhere that I went.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Hey, so if you need any portable furniture or
Yeah.
decor items for your performance,
Yeah.
I work at Reclaim It, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
can reclaim some
Cool.
performance props, some props for your
Fantastic.
set. Yeah, I'll donate some to you, and then you
alright.
could just have a little sign.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
from Reclaim It.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm down. Bunch of stuff we just try to give away sometimes, which breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I don't like things going into landfills.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. Yeah. Trying to resources, right? Like we just make so much stuff in the world every day, and it's like
Single-use plastics.
not really necessary. Like I feel like we made enough stuff for the whole world like 10 years ago. And
I know. But then it's sad because they like pigeonhole you into continuing to use them, and
Yeah.
it's just sad. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh man, you're on your last
here I
sip.
go, like drinking out of a plastic cup, talking crap.
Yo. I was gonna try not to drink before my set. I don't know. That might not hold. I'm in the brewery right now.
It's hard,
Lots of people are
especially
offering
when
me beers.
people offer you drinks. Don't
Yeah.
accept a drink from anybody. I think we're all friends here,
That's a
but
life lesson right there. Yeah.
you always have to look after who's giving you that drink.
Yeah. Why is this free right now?
Yeah.
Is it really
You
free?
take a drink first.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily we're all friends, so I don't think we'll have the issue.
Yeah. Cool. He's en route now. Like
Yay.
it'll be just another moment or two here longer.
Yeah, I honestly can't even say where I met him the first time. I think it was one of the Tiffin Music and Art Festivals.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty
Or-
great. Yeah.
Actually,
Are you still doing the Tiffin Music Festival?
nope, not anymore.
Right on.
Actually, he made his own guitars, and he would come into Lowe's. That's how I
okay.
remembered it. I used to work at Lowe's for a long time.
Gotcha.
Yep. I thought I knew you from the festival, but it's from Lowe's. Yeah. Okay. So he was really skeptical of my knowledge about paint at first. Oh yeah. Yes, you were. It's okay though. I believe it because you hone into your craft really well. You want to make sure it's done right. So I do the research, and I'll make sure it's done right. So yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for
thank you
being
so
on
much.
the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll have to do another podcast sometime.
Yeah, we'll do the full length sometimes. You know, like you got a studio or something maybe. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Bye everybody.
Hey, welcome, Tom.
Hey, thanks, Beebe.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm meeting you today. It's a pretty fantastic little space here to meet new people and artists and
Yeah.
people who are creative and
It's cool energy around here, man.
yeah, there is, right?
Really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a stage here now and like they got the brewery, like they're
Right.
brewing beer right there as we
I'm
speak.
kind of loving the MySpace over there, man. That's real
Yeah.
close to the bar.
It's got to hang out all day, you know?
Right on.
People come to you. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty rad. So you what are you here doing? Guitars, right?
So yeah, I'm selling handmade guitars.
Yeah.
All of the guitars are made by yours truly from reclaimed lumber.
Okay.
One of the pieces over there is from a barn that was torn down recently in the last decade in Helena, Ohio, and it's made out of spalted cedar, and the barn was built in 1865.
Okay.
So
okay.
wow, it's got some history.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
real.
It's seen some things.
Yeah, it has a certain mojo in the wood
Right
that
on.
it retains.
Right on. Yeah. Yep. And the spalted cedars, like, there's a lot of damage. You know, it's stable and so forth, but there's like a lot of water damage that like came and went over the last 250 some years, I guess. Not
Yeah.
good with math, but it's been a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, all the stuff is reclaimed lumber, and they all have stories and history, and
Yeah, yeah.
but they're made from scratch. A lot of people ask me where I buy my necks from, and I said I carve them myself. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, they look fantastic.
Thanks,
you know?
man.
Yeah, I really like them.
thanks.
They have like a real natural finish to them, and like
Yeah.
you can see like all of the like years in them. I guess I don't know
Right
what
on.
you call that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
Oh, the
rings.
rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. They're.
And
They
you
have
press your
character.
own fretboards too, right?
All the fretboards are still. I mill all the wood and then put the radius in them and press all the frets and. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
all the dot markers I put in
Yeah.
I basically use offcuts of the bodies, and I try to tie the theme throughout the instrument,
Nice.
So,
Yeah. It reminds me of a story. If you indulge me real quick.
Go for it, man.
Yeah. As far as like mojo and instruments go and things like that, I was out in Portland, Oregon once at a piano shop. Okay.
Right on.
And I was just like tons of probably 50, 60 upright pianos in this place.
Right.
A lady who was not overly enthusiastic about me playing all of them, said that I could. And
Thank you very much.
yeah. And I was like, okay, I just played a little bit, and then we got to talking a little bit, and she takes apart all the pianos and, puts them back together, refurbishes them, and, restores them. And she's like, here's my bag full of things that I pulled out of pianos,
Oh,
and this
no.
is, like toys and like weird stuff, and like, she's like, yeah, well, you gotta take that stuff out, and I feel bad about it, because like I feel like I'm pulling a certain type of mojo out of the piano,
Right.
she says. And so I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, well, but you got to put it back in, right? So we get these decks of Naked Lady playing cards, and we put a few in each piano that we, before it closes back up.
There you go. Yeah.
Just put a little bit back. You got to take a little bit out. You got to give a little bit back. Maybe that's the moral.
The mojo's in the tone, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or the tone is in the mojo, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we don't understand the world completely, so it's nice to have, things like that, I think,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
me and Chelsea were talking about the magic and the different things that you were like, I don't know, moments and just different, I don't know, just in life in general, not necessarily with art, but art is definitely like a thing that you're creating that almost holds like a certain type of like feeling for people, I think, too.
Absolutely, man. Like when you're working on something, whatever your medium is, whatever it's like oils or whatever, like if it's glass or, wood or whatever, man, like you get lost in the moment.
Yeah.
And like when you're making something, there's nothing out there that can like fill that void, man. It's like, it's super cool.
Definitely.
And like, originally I was like, I'm just building stuff out of wood. And then somebody's like, well, you're a carpenter. And I'm like, no, and I couldn't figure out man, it's art,
Yeah,
and like what Chelsea does, like she gets lost in a moment, and that's what she's chasing every time she does something probably. And that's what I'm chasing every time I get into like, some old piece of wood. I want to like
molding geometric shapes,
Right on.
like finding like tensions in the wood,
Yeah.
It's pretty. And it's also, I mean, as far as like the art form, the art side of it goes, I mean, like you could say that it's like luthier work, it's carpenter work, but it's also like on the art side of it, you are like delving into a craft that you can kind of like lose yourself in for at least a few moments, like hours, I'm sure, and that it sets your mind in a certain place, because like everyone needs something to just like an outlet or like some kind of a way to just let your mind be empty for a little while, I think,
Yeah. Get rid of all the crap.
Yeah, because your mind will just keep going forever, like if you let it, and you're like, okay, like I'm just gonna do this thing for a while and like forget about it,
Right. Absolutely, man. Totally get that.
Yeah. Super beneficial though. Like I know
Right.
from my own viewpoint too,
Yeah.
I have an overactive imagination, I think. Like I'm constantly like writing short stories and writing songs and like
Well, you play piano too, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't I remember you playing a piano? Like, there was an upright down a Poignon project, and you're like out in the front, just like banging away at it.
Oh yeah.
And then like months later, there's like plants growing out of that piano, man. And I was like, and then you came around, and I was like, dude, I didn't think that thing would still work.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the easiest piano to play, honestly. Like it was.
Full disclosure.
It was wrecking my hands a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had its own sound. I love old pianos like that though, because they do have their own character and like however it's tuned. Because I mean, you can buy a free piano from someone if you pick it up, but whatever tune it happens to be in, that's
what you're playing it in.
unless you spend another $400 or $500 on a piano tuner, or
Right. Yeah.
really figure out that entire art form, of
Yep.
tuning pianos, which is not easy at all.
So I've heard.
Yeah, I've seen people try to do it,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, I started at this end, and now this end is in tune, but this end's not. It's like, that sounds rough, man. That sounds like.
You get one done, you're like, sweet, 87 more to go.
Yeah, yeah. and then the other ones go out of tune as you're going back across them again.
Right.
And yeah, so
They have to be in tune with that one key that you did so well.
Yeah, yeah. Pianos. Yeah, I play a lot of keyboards now.
Plug it in.
Yeah, you can get a lot of I guess started getting into synthesizers over the winter a little bit too.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other different world of trying
Right.
to oh, okay, so I got an oscillator, I got a filter, and you can augment all those things in real time too,
Right. I always thought somebody was actually playing it that way, and there's
Yeah.
pressing one button, and
Yeah, exactly. Nope.
it's like guitar effects, man.
Yeah, it's like you got to be a mathematician or something, or
Or it just becomes your medium, and you just you go with it,
Yeah, that's more or less the only way that you can approach it. There's math and ways that you can dissect anything, I think, and then there's just there, and then you're just there and you're just doing it,
Yeah, math takes the fun out of it for me, though.
Yeah, I interviewed a mathematician recently, and she's an artist now, but she was talking a lot about just well, there's the set of set theories, and how do you have the set of all sets? And I'm like, I know about this, Bertrand Russell, let's talk about this, I like the theoretical side of math. It's because it's all just abstract, and we just made it up. We literally just made math up based off of what we thought, zero was an invention that we just zero wasn't invented until 500 years ago,
Yeah, but the simple stuff works for me.
Right, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Just get the thumb measurement out there. It's I think my thumb's about an inch,
I mean, I'm a little bit more specific, but
Okay, yeah. That's also good. Yeah. Constantly in the shop looking for the tape measure.
Yeah. 30 seconds and 64ths aren't quite finite enough, but
Yeah.
they get you close.
Yeah, so how's that work? The ratios of the frets, you're pressing your own frets in there, right?
Correct. So I have templates where somebody was
Okay.
a super math nerddom type
Yeah.
superstar.
Gotcha.
And they made a template, and
Nice.
I put the template and I double side stick it to a piece of wood, and I have a tool that runs a .023 kerf,
Okay.
and then
the kind of action, I would
no,
I
it's actually the slice of the wood that the fret gets pushed down into.
Okay.
It's .023 thousandths of an inch, I believe.
Okay.
That's where the tang fits it, and then when you press it down, that's where the fret lives.
Okay.
But to get them all spaced out.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. To get them all spaced out, I have a template and have little grooves in it, and I have an index pin, and I just stick it in the pin, and I run the saw across, and I get the next index pin, and
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty repeatable.
Yeah.
Infinite number of times, as long as that piece of wood doesn't move on top of that template.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
there's
Just,
little tricks using the double side. Some people use double side tape. I just run a strip of masking tape on both pieces, and then
Yeah.
I run a bead of super glue, and I lay it down. Then
Nice.
you pull it off, and that tape comes right off. You don't have to worry about any sticky mess or residue. So
Nice.
yeah,
Some tricks of the trade here.
yeah, do that a lot. Do that a lot.
Dang.
Yeah. But templates with the frets, but then once your frets are on, and once you have selected a scale length, Fender Strats and Tellies are typically 25.5 inch scale, and then your Gibson are 24 3/4 typically, so they're different. But once you have that figured out,
Yeah.
you build your guitar around that scale length, And then once you have your neck on there and you put the strings on there, then you have to like measure the, you know, the harmonic and the from the 12th fret, and then make sure that
where the bridge is,
correct.
I assume, and
the cool thing with electric guitars is each bridge is individual saddles, so you can change the length of each individual string.
Okay.
Whereas like on acoustic or jazz box things, you have to carve the bone to meet the right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of don't think about that a lot, but it's when you have a variable, you know, like string, and then you're tuning it anyway, right? Like so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that there's a template for that, because probably guitars are pretty much standardized size now, and to consider it a guitar or compared to another instrument at this
some
point
luthiers still measure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't
it's not a balalaika or something, right?
I don't have time for that. I just want to slap it on there, get it done, and you know, get on with it. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
So what have you sold your guitars to like any really crazy interesting people at all? Like
no, I haven't really had any crazy interesting people. There was a dude that was like he was on The Voice for like 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
And he commissioned a piece, and then
nice.
I sent it to him, but he didn't like it. So
you know,
it's a pretty particular thing when that's, you know, I respect that. But rather than like trying to like fight back and forth, and you know, they're in Nashville and I'm up here, I was just like, you know what? Just send it back, and then we'll just, you know,
call it a day.
Yeah, and if you want something else done, you know, next time we'll be a little bit more specific about it. But I'm like, it's not a big deal. But I mean, for a second I thought maybe, you know, I was gonna have somebody big and crazy, but it's all good, man. I'm not really looking to get out there. You know, it's more of like a hobby, and but
that's cool.
It does help fill the void in the bank account when, you know, you spend, you know, almost $1,000 on materials, and then not to mention the time. So
definitely, you know,
it's.
I mean, we're in the middle of like kind of nowhere, Ohio, too. You know, like it's hard to like. It's big fish in a small pond kind of scenario too.
Yeah,
I feel that a lot.
You got big names like Gibson and Taylor and Martin and Fender, and like I'm not trying to compete with those guys, but like definitely trying to come close to what they do too. You know what I mean? Like fantastic American history.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you go to like a lot of shows and things then too?
Yeah. There's the Ohio Guitar Show down in Columbus, Ohio. I've been out to the Indiana Guitar Show, which is west of Indianapolis. There's a place over in Summit County Fairgrounds over by Akron. I've been over there.
Yeah.
There's the Greater Pittsburgh Guitar Show. Like I try to hit the ones around here.
Nice. Yeah, I was unaware of how many guitar shows there are, you know?
Yeah, they're infinite if you search for them.
I bet.
But I'd like to go to the one in Cincinnati at the end of August. It just kind of depends on like time and transportation and all those things that you want to do, but
all the variables.
Then life gets in the way. So.
Logistics. Yeah. Life.
But I go to a lot of those, and like that's how I met the guy that does all my pickups. I mean, he was hand winding all his pickups. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool.
And
that's
then
pretty wild.
Recently he, I don't know the story, but he got hired by Gibson to work in their pickup department as like he's in charge of some stuff now, you know, and like he's apparently he's arrived, which is awesome. You know?
For real.
But like he knows what he's doing, and I like to say, well, I got his stuff in my guitars, man. So like, I mean, I think they sound good, but you know.
Nice.
But you meet all sorts of people, and you know, guys who do custom pick guards, custom pickups, and you know, you rub elbows with some cats and learn some stuff and teach them some things, and it's kind of cool, man.
That's what it's all about, you know, like you just dive into a world, you know, and then you don't realize how many other people there are really already in that world too, you know. And then the fun part's kind of meeting those cats, and then like seeing, you know, learning from them, and just like, you know, hearing the stories, and That's one of my favorite things about just being a musician in general is meeting other musicians. And,
Word. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like they're usually the weirdest people that I meet.
100%. 100%. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know, music helps break down all that crap. Like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you believe in, whatever you stand for, but like you get into music and you start playing with somebody and then all of that crap doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, because you're speaking a whole different language.
The
You know?
the universal language that transcends all the language barriers.
Yeah, and it's like it says things that we can't say with words, you know?
True.
Like there's so many things in the world we don't have a word for,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Like you hear B.B. King play a lick and you're like, yes,
Yeah.
I don't know how to put into words what you said, but I feel that.
Yeah, you just hear him go, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
oh,
like,
yeah. You just say that?
uh-huh.
Are you saying that? What are you saying to me right now?
Right on. Right on. Or
Yeah.
you're on stage and you see somebody walk by and you say something about what you see and they turn around and look at you and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I just spoke to somebody without even saying a word, you know?
Yeah, for real. So- Yeah, it happens all the time. We're definitely all telepathic, or at least we know body language.
That too. That too,
Facial
man.
expressions and
Right
all
on.
that, you know, like
Yep.
you know where if someone's on the page or not a lot of times, you know, like
Sure.
it's
Yep.
like, okay, this guy's no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, he's here. He's all right, we're here. We're both here. Okay.
Now we're connected, man. Right on.
Yeah, this is have you done any podcasts before this, or is this
I did a podcast with a guy in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's like a cigar box guitar podcast in Australia,
nice.
and he's since opened up his own shop, and
yeah.
he called me up because he saw my stuff on Instagram. He's like, "Hey man, you want to be on a podcast?" And I was like, "Man, I listen to podcasts. I don't know about being on one." So it was weird because we were like,
Yeah.
we were on like some sort of video, like I don't know if it was Facebook or FaceTime or whatever, but
Yeah.
like I'm
yeah.
talking with a guy from Australia and I was on a show and like 6 days later I'm listening to
nice.
myself on this interview. It was kind of cool and I was like, wow. So, but this is all right, man.
It's
This
real
is fun.
life. Yeah, I've been calling this one. I call this Grandpa's Travelogue right now.
True.
Yeah, because I just want to like travel around the place, play shows, and then find interesting people. You know.
Yeah, because people will listen.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll listen to anything.
And it's a way that I'm thinking it will help expand it a little bit too. You know.
Yeah.
Like start like finding pockets of people. You know.
Sure.
Because
Sure,
that's.
man.
I mean, like this. You know, this is a pocket of people. Like this artist community right here.
Yeah.
A lot of these cats have been here every single time, you know?
Right.
Which is, I mean, super, like, family, super, like, community, like, you know, like, looking after each other kind of thing, too, you know? Like,
Yep.
a lot of support in the area for each other. It's
Well, yeah, and we want everybody here to be successful and
Yeah, yeah.
continue to do the thing that they love. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be more of these artist markets here at the Tiffin Brewery in the future. And we just want everyone to come out.
look forward to that, man.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't even know how long I've been going. Oh, wow. We're just like a minute and a half from an hour right now.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to be here all day playing music and telling stories. And
Looking forward to it, man.
I got a big long... there's an old... from 1968, there's a song that I'm going to do that's just like basically like a 13-minute long story, you know?
Yeah.
By a guy named Jamie Brockett. I'm pretty excited about doing that. I haven't played it in a long time.
Looking forward to that, man.
It's not something you really want to practice
No.
or rehearse
No.
because it's like a 13-minute long song, you know? But
Yeah.
it's fun. It's called Legend of the USS Titanic.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me, like, it sounds like the type of song that Arlo Guthrie did, like the
Oh, yeah.
Alice's Restaurant type
Yeah,
thing.
the Thanksgiving Day theme song.
Right? Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. Awesome.
We get one person to say it, it's just a crazy person. We get two people to say it, then it's kind of a thing. But if we get a whole group of people saying it, then it's a movement.
For sure. For sure.
Well, I appreciate you having you on the show, man.
Absolutely. Thanks
Tom,
for having me.
Tom, what's your last name again? And
My name's Tom Holben. And
Holben. Yeah.
Holben. You can find a lot of the stuff I do if you just like type in Tomz Flippin Guitar Shop.
Okay.
That's Facebook. That's Instagram.
Okay. Tom's Guitar Shop. Here in
Flippin Guitar Shop. It's
Tomz Flippin Guitar Shop.
It's
cool.
flippin' awesome. And
yeah, right?
I live in Findlay. I lived in Tiffin for like 20 some years, and then we recently moved. But all the stuff that I have here today was stuff that I built in a house over on Clinton Avenue, and then I'm building some more now that I live in Findlay. But
yeah, nice.
So
yeah, flipping lids, man.
all right, man. Thanks so much.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. This is the end of the podcast section of the show tonight, and I'll be back here in a little bit playing some music and telling some stories. So I'm Great Grandpa Beebe. Thank you, Ryan Poignon. Buy some art. Have some fun. See ya.